Hey, thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Horror Debate. My name is Jeff Rowdy Jake here, and alongside me is Michael Mandy.
And this week we're going to be reviewing from 1978 George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the film that pretty much kick-started the whole zombie craze. I know Night of the Living Dead did, but this was in color.
Okay.
This took Night of the Living Dead and turbocharged.
Mike, what did you put me through, dude? Mike! I mean, I understand it's a classic and all, but I think I've mentioned this before, is that, some of those scenes in there took like 15 minutes apiece. They were so drawn out and slow.
You thought that was a slow movie?
I thought it started out good, but, some of the battle scenes, man, there's only so many bikers I can see get shot and fall stupidly to the floor and convulse. I can't watch it for 15 minutes.
Okay.
And granted, the budget on this movie was like 500 G's, right?
Yeah, it was $500,000.
So, it wasn't bad for that. It was probably a little bit better than what I expected it was going to be honest with you.
You know what it was? Tom Savini probably called all his friends and said, let's get all get drunk and have a party and ride motorcycles around in a mall.
Tom Savini is a long-lost brother of Carmen Appice, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah, the drummer.
I'm telling you. He looks dead unlike him in this
drummer
movie,
from Vanilla Fudge.
And, yeah, the Rod Stewart band, too, for a long time.
Yeah, he co-wrote Do You Think I'm Sexy?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Hey, man.
I met him once.
You guys are getting an education, see? A music education. But anyhow, I can't say I liked it. I can say that...
You cannot say you liked it?
I can't say I liked it.
Which means you didn't like it?
I'm being, as our tagline says, brutally honest. I have to say that I felt it dragging a lot. I mean, I felt like I was watching a comedy most of the time, to be completely honest and frank with you. I had so many one-liners during that movie, dude. I don't know. It didn't feel like a scare fest to me. Maybe back in 1979 or 78,
Well, in 1970, it was a gore fest film. It wasn't really a scare fest.
Well,
there wasn't really dread or terror.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you the intestine pulling and all that. That looked pretty brutal, I don't know, though. The blood, again, it looked like finger paint.
Frank's hot sauce.
No, it wasn't Frank's. Frank's was in Suspiria.
Yeah.
It was in Suspiria. It wasn't in this one.
Dario had his fingers all over this. He supervised the script.
Finger paint. What did I say? It's finger paint.
Dario Argento produced this, and he script supervision. Basically, this movie got made because of him.
Well, can somebody arrest him? I mean, I don't know. Mike, I try to like these things because I know you love them so much, and I hate to be sitting there, pulling these things apart and making one-liners every 5 minutes. But by the way, I swear that Sun Valley Mall they were in, by the way, just in Concord. Concord, California, that Sun Valley Mall. No. Check it out. It looks dead on like that, man.
You just mean the people standing around looking at the sky going, oh.
No, those are the kids that exit the middle school next to our house. See, if you're driving down our cul-de-sac, right, and you have to stop at the stop sign at the end, and those kids are getting out of school, it takes them as long as those zombies took to get from the end of the mall to the other end of the mall to get across the street. It's irritating. I'm trying to get somewhere. I always said it's something out of Dawn of the Dead. But again, this movie for me served more as a comedy than a horror piece. I'm sorry. I don't view it as something that scared me or made me uncomfortable. I gotta say, though,
the gore scenes made a lot of people uncomfortable back in '79.
Back in those days, and you gotta kind of look at it in those terms. I mean, obviously back in '78,
this thing pushed the envelope.
What was the album of '78? Was it Rock and Roll Over?
No.
What was it? That was '79, right?
'78 were the solo albums.
'78 were the solo albums. We're talking about Kiss, by the way, if you haven't figured that out. Yeah, that's right. So okay. Yeah, man, I don't even remember what I was doing when those came out. I remember I got...
What the Kiss solo albums have to do with
Dawn
of the Dead? I don't know where
Well, you know why I said
from.
that? You know why I said that?
I have no idea why.
Because the soundtrack in this movie sounded straight out of Pac-Man.
Okay.
Okay, and that's what I'm telling you. Oh, and by the way, I just want to mention this now that I'm on soundtrack. That was the worst remastering of a soundtrack I have ever heard in my life. They ought to be shot for what they did to that soundtrack. They could have made that so dynamic with all the gunfire and all the bikes flying past you.
By the way, we watched this on DVD, the European edition, which toned down the comedy, toned up the action, and
Toned down the comedy?
Yeah, believe it or not, they toned it
It was like
down.
a stand-up routine, man.
And some of the music was changed for it, but no, it was this.
It
was
sounded like Pac-Man. Waka,
Yep.
waka, 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 waka. I mean, like a chicken in Pac-Man.
It was the late 70s.
Oh, it was terrible. I mean, the late 70s had some decent music, Mike. We just said it. What about some Nugent?
The Kiss solo album.
What about some Nugent? You know, I mean, I'm not asking you to put on the Peter Criss solo album. I'm just saying. What about something about, Deep Purple, something, I mean, come on, Romero. And then his little cameo at the beginning, I didn't even know it was him.
Yeah.
I got to say it, Mike. I'm going to say
Romero's
it.
cameo
Here
was
we go.
the TV
I'm about
guy.
to tick off about 350,000 people that are going to listen to this.
Okay.
I don't like Romero's stuff.
Yeah,
I don't.
I'm noticing that.
I don't. And you know what? The remake of this movie, 50 times better than this. 50 times better than this. Ving Rhames rules.
Yeah, he
Okay?
does.
All
I'll give you
right,
that.
and that's it.
But what about Ken Foray?
Kid, okay. All through the movie, because, and if you're wondering, by the way, I saw this movie a long time ago, and it didn't have the same effect on me it had on everybody else. It was like kind of a yawn fest for me, right? But you wanted to watch it again, right? And it's now 2007, and we've already seen Ken Foray, with his little thing in Halloween, in the remake of Halloween,
yeah, Rob
right?
Zombie film.
So
yeah.
all through this movie, every time Ken Foray would come on the screen, I had to go, "Hey, buddy, just a heads up."
Got me a deluxe.
Yeah, I got a super deluxe taco feeding back on me here, and I mean, I love that guy. I think he's great. He actually looks like a friend of mine. We noticed that during the movie. I looked over at my oldest son who was watching it with us, and I said, "That looks like the guy we know, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, actually it does. That's kind of scary, But no, Ken Foray is, he is probably the shining star in this whole mess. Okay, he's the one guy that stands out.
What's funny is after this movie, he really didn't do anything until Rob Zombie found him.
Yeah. Well, that's good. See, I told you Zombie did a good job. You just don't listen. He went out and got Ken Foray. If he did one thing right, he went out and got Ken Foray, right?
It gave him a career again.
And who is this David Soul wannabe in this movie? I mean, I was expecting Starsky to jump over the red car and start shooting the zombies. I mean, what was that? I mean, I guess it was the style, the way he was holding the gun, the way he was delivering the lines. Looked a lot like David Soul, right?
Yeah, Roger, his policeman. friend,
Roger,
yeah.
right. That means correct. Yes. Okay. He looked like David Soul.
Okay.
I don't know.
It was the 70s.
I just had all kinds of problems. I have trouble.
Hey,
going.
you even said the makeup was cool when he zombified.
Yes,
when he was looking dead.
He looked like death.
Yeah, when he was gonna
look
go.
like death, and whoever did that makeup job, I give him props. Okay, I have a really hard time, folks. When I'm gonna just state this right now, I have a really hard time watching something that's been brought into the present day, like this movie was, and then kind of going back and watching the original, because I tend to like a lot of the newer stuff better. It's more dynamic. There's better sound. I can tell you 100 times better acting. Okay, I mean, this movie was insufferable in certain parts with the acting. The line delivery was like, I mean, come on. And Claire Danes, or whatever she was, the lookalike of Claire Danes in this movie.
Galen Ross.
She wasn't winning any brownie points either.
No, she was kind of
drab.
Drab. That's a good word.
She was drab. I mean, she looked like the child of like Heather Thomas and Claire Danes. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, she did seem to be walking through the.
Mike.
All right.
If I was to watch this, let me just say this: if I was to watch this in 1978, I might be slightly impressed. I probably saw it somewhere around like 83, 85, something like that, right?
Oh, I saw it a midnight movie, 1982.
But that's your problem.
The audience was packed.
Problem.
When they burst down that door and the shotgun to the head and the head exploded, everyone just went bananas.
You know what? There were some splatter scenes, I will say, that were pretty cool, except for the one that looked like a pen light. There was one like stream of blood that shot out of this guy's neck, right? And he was like off camera. So when the scene happened, all you saw was the blood shoot across the screen, and it looked like somebody had one of them little laser lights. It didn't look like blood at all. And I looked at you and said, "Well, what the heck was that?" And he said, "It's a blood stream. It's shooting across the screen." I'm like, "Oh, how nice." Yeah. How nice for them. I mean, I don't know, Mike. I don't know. I mean, Tom Savini, I love him to death. I think he does good stuff. He acted terribly in this, though. He acted terribly in this. I mean, those moves, they looked worse than WWE on a bad night. Okay, they looked horrible. I was looking at some of the shots they were laying in with the sledgehammer. Triple H lays a sledgehammer shot in 10 times better than these guys do. I mean, come on. I mean, and you know he's not really hitting them even in the ring, right? But these guys, I mean, it was like slow motion. It was, and then there was impact, and the guy flew like he got hit, like, you know, with a baseball bat. You know, come on. It takes me out of the. Oh, you talk about taking you out of the experience, right?
Yeah.
When you're sitting in the theater. I cannot get into a horror movie that I know when a guy turns the corner and it gets suspenseful again that I'm going to hear Pac-Man through the soundtrack. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I have to just sit there and go, why are they doing this? What? Who listened to that soundtrack and said, yeah, that's what I was looking for? I mean, come on.
He probably said it in Italian.
I don't know.
Sí, esta soundtrack es muy bueno.
You know, I'm seeing a pattern with all these old flicks.
Bellissimo.
Like with Demons, right? That was like our first review.
That was
right?
one of them, yeah.
One of our very first reviews.
Another Italian film.
And I'm seeing a pattern of suckage of like all of these like really old zombie flicks. Now I want to see something that twists my head. You know, I want to see something that really makes me snap back and go, whoa. You know? And you know what? The new Dawn of the Dead did that. I don't care what anybody says about remakes. I don't care about what anybody says about remakes. Oh, I hate remakes. They're not as, you know, true to the original. And bull. Okay, it took the story. You know what? The game Dead Rising is better than this freaking movie, dude. It's based after it, right? And I mean, it's more believable. I'd rather see the zombies walking around with duck heads on than watch this thing again. You know, and that's what they do in Dead Rising. You can put these duck heads on the guys, right? I'm sorry, I don't mean to bash it.
Duck heads?
Yeah, you got these things. You go in the toy store, right? You pick up these like duck head, like Lego pieces, and you can pick them up and you can slap them on the top of the zombies so they can't see. And then you can blow them. They start walking aimlessly, and then you can just start blowing them away. It's a great game. You got to try it. But bottom line is, Mike, I mean, I just can't.
You can tell I haven't played this game. I just watched the movies.
Right. I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't want to sit through this again. I don't. I'm speechless. It was the acting was that bad, dude. I mean, Ken Ferrer. I'm excluding him from that. I want to make that clear. He acts fine. Okay. Sometimes he gets a little over dramatic, but that's okay. You know. But the other guys, the David Soul wannabe, the Claire Danes, you know, I mean, I had a new character for each of these guys, right? Or a new star. I had them all set up, right? Yeah. But no, this is a 1-star flick, Mike. This is a 1-star flick. I'm not gonna
even for the gore.
The gore was 1 star, dude. It was finger paint.
What about when they grabbed the guy's stomach and ripped it open and pulled out all those slimy intestines?
That was the 1 star.
Okay.
That was where it got the star. Yeah, I was probably gonna bomb it before I saw that. You know, and then my son asked. He goes, hey, don't they eat raw meat? You know, to make these scenes, don't they just, you know, and I don't know if they did in this particular movie, but I have seen that, you know, actually go down. It didn't look like raw meat. It looked like...
No, they were like intestines.
Yeah, it looked like maybe just like, you know, created props, you know, or something. But, you know, no. No.
I liked this film. I'm sorry. I thought it had a lot of violence. It could use more nudity, but maybe there was only one girl in it, so and she wasn't anything special. She wasn't anything special, so I'll forgive him for that. But I'm just going by my checklist. What makes a good film?
Right.
Sin, violence, gore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, but no, I don't know. I like the fact that it gave you, seriously, wouldn't you love to be in a mall and live in a mall? And have it all locked up and have people.
I have lived in a mall, Mike. I have. I worked at Electronics Boutique before it was EB Games, right? Down in that same mall that I said that this looked like it took place at, right? I basically lived in the mall, dude. That's how many hours I had to work at that joint, you know? I'll tell you the honest truth, okay? If I had to sit through this movie again, you better drug me, okay? Because I'll come out with more one-liners than you know what to do with in this flick. I can't. It's not stupid. It's just. It's unbelievable, and that's
what
the
was
problem
unbelievable.
It was phony looking.
What was
the zombies were phony looking?
Yeah, the Romero said he wanted the blood to look coagulated, and it came out kind of blue. And I agree, blue zombies don't look cool. No. The only blue zombies look dated.
The only zombie that looked good was when David Soul woke up. Right?
When Roger.
Oh, yeah.
Flyboy.
That's what I said.
Flyboy.
That's what I said, right? When he wakes up.
No, not Flyboy. Duh, stupid me. Roger was the sniper.
Well, whatever. Yeah. Like it matters, right? And the guy wakes up and the camera zooms in on his face and he really looked good. Yeah. I mean, he had the dark circles, the sunken eyes. I mean, he looked fantastic. That was a great job. But other than that, in the intestine scene, there's nothing. There's nothing, Mike. 1 star.
Okay. Well, I liked it. I had a good time watching it. Although, yes, the blue zombies are dated. A lot of the music is dated, so I'm
dated. Wait. Okay.
The Pac-Man.
Notice I did
Waka
not say
Waka.
music. I said soundtrack because I don't know how anybody could consider that music. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, look at the sound. Look at the songs that were available to him back then. I mean, what were they thinking?
Probably no songs were available to him back then. He had no money.
So he gets a freaking Namco Pac-Man machine and just sticks a mic up to it and goes waka waka. I mean, come on. No. Yeah, $500,000 could buy you a lot of Pac-Man machines. Okay, you could afford to do something.
You had to rent the whole mall.
I don't know, man. You know what? Like I said, watch the remake.
Yes, I agree.
Screw this.
I think you should watch both of them.
Okay, you should watch this one time so you can experience the suckage. Then you should watch the remake and see how it should have been done. Because the remake is dynamic, it sounds great, it looks great. Ving Rhames is the freaking man. Mm-hmm. The characters are believable. You feel for the characters. Once again, Mike, I don't feel for anybody in this movie.
You felt for Ken.
I think they all should have died about an hour earlier.
Okay,
and the rest could have been just like Tom Savini showing us how he made the intestines. Okay, I mean, seriously, I mean, I would have been more interested in that, okay?
Right.
The Dolby Digital soundtrack, I don't mean to harp on this, but let me just say this. If you are going to remaster a soundtrack to a classic movie like this, please use more than the center channel. There was one scene that I heard with gunfire that actually used the rears. One scene.
When he was in the what do you call it? The room with all the pipes everywhere.
Yeah.
And he shot and the bullet was ricocheting.
And it ricocheted off.
Yeah,
right.
I agree. That was the only time.
Oh, the guy woke up. The engineer woke up. He got to this scene. He came out of his slumber.
Yeah, that was the only one I noticed.
I'll put some stuff in the rear channel. Everything else, the voices were buried under the action. You couldn't even hear what they were saying. The only guy that you could hear was Foray, and that's just because his voice is loud like mine. Right? That's the only reason. And deep too, right?
Yeah.
But the other guys were all just kind of mismatched in there. I don't know. You know, this movie, it just needs. You know what? If somebody would do it right, if somebody would give it the treatment that a movie like this probably deserves, just because of its age and the classic tone of it all, you know, if somebody would actually go and do it right, I might say, okay, I'll watch it again just to hear, because it could be a real dynamic movie. The remake is a real dynamic movie. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's basically the same thing. Sure, they took their liberties with it, you know, but no, man, I'll give me the remake any day. Give me the remake any day. Forget this.
All right. Well, I liked it. I'm going to give it 3 stars.
Well, you know what? And I'm glad you didn't give it 4. I'm glad you didn't give it 4, because I was about to jump out this chair. Okay, no, it's not a 4-star movie. It is. I could see where somebody who digs this sort of thing would say it's a 3-star movie. I'll agree with you on that.
Okay.
I'll agree with you. I can see where someone would agree with you on that.
All right, I'm Michael Mandy, and he's Rowdy. Jeff, we'll talk to you next week at the Horror Debate.